They took me into what I call the death room.
Okay, so they
I
told
sat
you...
in a chair, and someone I have no idea who they are came over and said that he came in with multiple gunshot wounds and that he was dead. I don't remember anything they said after that.
Okay, so you
I
found...
fell to the floor.
You found out at the hospital that Rusty had been shot.
That's correct.
Okay, and you say the death room. At that point, did they tell you or indicate to you Rusty was in fact dead?
Yep.
Okay, is that the first time you found out he was dead?
Yep.
And you found out he was shot?
Yep.
So, Andrea Sneiderman, is she covering? Is she telling the truth? And our bold question tonight, should prosecutors drop the murder charges against her? Let's take a look at the evidence. Vinnie Politan's over at the HLNTV.com evidence room.
Thanks, Ryan. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeremy here with Ashley Merchant from our After Dark prosecution team. Let's take a look at Andrea Sneiderman, what she knew and what she did. And I'd like to start with what she did, because her connection with the man who actually shot and killed her husband, Hemi Newman, is important. At Hemi Newman's trial, we heard some testimony about some dirty dancing. Take a listen.
What stood out most was that he kept spinning her around to the salsa music. I know at one point she kind of was dancing for him. He pulled her back, groped her. They were groping each other, I know, because I kind of turned away.
Now, let me say, you said each other. Was each party
Yes.
doing the groping? That's what you described?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so what she did, she's groping him, he's groping her. Is there a connection between her and her husband's killer? Now, also, the day of the shooting, what else did she do? Well, she called Hemi Newman 6 times after the shooting, but who didn't she call?
From leaving work to arriving at the daycare, and I think you said you presumed or they indicated that something had happened to Rusty.
Right.
How many times did you call Rusty?
Call Rusty?
Rusty.
0 times.
Why didn't you call Rusty?
Because they just told me something had happened to Rusty. What are the chances that he's going to be answering his cell phone?
All right, Ashley Merchant, how compelling do you find that bit of evidence? It's her own words.
Extremely compelling. She didn't call him because she knew he was dead. There was no point in calling him. He wasn't going to answer.
Yeah, I mean, it's Andrea Sneiderman's own words. She testified at Hemi Newman's trial. Now, she also, and we heard this testimony coming in, that she found out he was shot, according to Andrea Sneiderman, when she got to the hospital. But the testimony from 2 other witnesses, a little different. Take a listen.
Did you receive a phone call from Andrea Sneiderman?
Yes. As soon as I answered it, I started to say, Andrea, I'm en route somewhere and I need to go. She immediately at the same time was screaming to me that Rusty had been shot and she didn't know if he was dead or alive and she was on the way to the hospital.
Are you sure she said she was still on her way to the hospital?
Yes.
Around 9:30 in the morning, Andrea called us, and she called and said Rusty had been shot. She was so sorry, and that she was going to Dunwoody Prep to find out what had happened.
And are you sure that she told you that Rusty had been shot?
Yes, sir.
All right, Chris Chestnut from the After Dark prosecution team with me. How significant is this piece of evidence? That Andrea Sneiderman said she found out at the hospital he'd been shot, but told her best friend and her father-in-law on the way to the hospital that he had been shot.
You know, this is just going to reinforce the jury's suspicion that Ms. Sneiderman's a liar. And what do liars do? They conspire. What do? They think with malice aforethought. They calculate. This shows that this woman is lying. The jury's going to pick up on it. It's going to be complications for the defense.
Now, another part of the testimony of her best friend, when her best friend steps off the witness stand, take a look at what happens. Here comes her best friend. She gives her the kiss, a hug, a little awkward, a little whispering in the ear. And then after that moment, Chris, she was banned from the courtroom. Not good.
Not good at all. Not good at all. Lack of sympathy makes you wonder a lot of things.